Hello there everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another video here on Chosen Totem. I am your host Jacob Saylor, and today we're going to be taking a look at our top 10 free online browser games. These are the best of the best when it comes to browser games, and they won't cost you a dime to play unless you want to spend money on them.
Number 10, Cybernations. Cybernations is a simulation-based video game where players rule a nation. One of the oldest and less technologically impressive games on our list, Cybernations makes up for its failings by offering players a robust nation simulator. Everything is determined by the player: government type, national religion, tax rate, and more. Make deals and trades with nations or go to war, it's your choice. For those who enjoy games like Risk, we think you'll enjoy Cybernations. Number 9, Contract Wars. Fans of the Call of Duty series will feel at home with Contract Wars. This is a first-person shooter that is fast-paced and includes up-close combat action. Graphics in Contract Wars are well done, especially for a web browser video game. There are several different modes along with a variety of weapons. That said, it should be noted that there are weapons which can be purchased with real currency, which creates a somewhat pay-to-win game environment. Number 8, Ballistic. Ballistic is probably the best looking first-person shooter video game for a web browser. The graphics in Ballistic are amazing and could even compete with some of last generation's console releases. This is another first-person shooter that is available through Facebook and is really well made. Level design and gameplay mechanics are executed near perfectly, though there is one issue with the game that might turn some players away. Ballistic leans strongly for the pay-to-win game archetype. Players can get better weapons and equipment through in-game currency, but it will be a struggle compared to players who decide to drop a few bucks and get better gear from the start. Number 7, Runescape. You likely knew this one was going to be on the list. Runescape is a classic web browser MMORPG that has gone through quite a few changes. If you haven't visited this game in a while, then you may be interested to know that the game has gone through a graphical overhaul. If you're one of the strange people who hasn't played Runescape at all, this is a classic MMORPG with a massive world, several classes, sprawling quests, and fun content. RuneScape continues to gain fans since it released all the way back in 2001. Number 6, Agar.io. Agar.io released earlier this year, and it's already taken the gaming community by storm. Players enter a massive level as a little dot that can grow in size by absorbing other smaller dots. With a ton of other players, Agar.io not only makes the game fun, but presents a real challenge trying to top the leaderboards. Agar.io is probably so popular because all it takes is a few seconds to jump in and learn the game. There's no registration required. Number 5, Tome, Immortal Arena. Looking for a MOBA like League of Legends but in a web browser? Check out Tome, Immortal Arena. There's an interesting selection of characters, a ton of in-game items to purchase with in-game currency, along with a cool backstory. Additionally, developers released a Steam downloadable version of the game if your PC can run the specification requirements, but the full game is still available through the web browser. Number 4, Drakensang Online. Need a Diablo-oriented video game? Try Drakensang Online, a role-playing game that gives Path of Exile and the Diablo game franchise some serious competition. Through an isometric perspective, players are able to create a character from one of 4 different classes: Dragon Knight, Ranger, Spellweaver, and Steam Mechanicus. There are quests to engage with, dungeons to loot, monsters to slay, friends to be made, and guilds to join or even create. This is a freemium type of game, which means that players can jump ahead and purchase in-game currency without the need to grind away for it. Number 3, Superhot. Superhot went from a small game on a web browser to being successfully funded on a Kickstarter for full video game development. The game plays out as a first-person shooter where time moves only when the player takes a move. Each level is like solving a puzzle as you dodge bullets, moving to designated areas, taking the enemy out. For a bite-sized web browser video game, it won't take players very long to complete, but it's fun enough to make it on our list. Number 2, Town of Salem. Within the Town of Salem, players are grouped and given a secret name and town role. For the most part, you are sided with the innocent town or the evil mafia. Depending on your role, each night you are given a special ability, such as killing a townsperson or investigating a player. Throughout the short game, players within the mafia are tasked with killing off the townspeople while the town attempts to figure out who exactly is within the mafia. Each day, the players talk and try to figure out who the bad guys are, lynching them in the process. Number 1, Bastion. You've likely heard of Bastion before, as the title first released in 2011 for the Xbox 360 and Windows platforms, but has since stretched to other platforms. Developer Supergiant Games has made the title available on Google Chrome, which means that anyone can play it at any time. The game stars an unnamed protagonist as he travels through the world in hopes of rebuilding it after the apocalypse hits. Bastion is an amazing title, having won a host of different awards in 2011. Now, all you've got to do is download Google Chrome.
Thank you so much everybody for tuning in to another video here, and we hope that you come back. Next week we will have our fantastic Game of the Year show ready for you. So without further ado, this is Jacob Saylor signing off for Chosen Totem.